I'm so excited to bring this video to y'all because I have some new additions that I'm adding to the garden space. I can't wait to show y'all. I'm about to show y'all. Taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 living my life like it's golden. But my husband bought me these. Let me show y'all. Yes, hubby bought me some fruit trees, y'all. Okay, so I have a pear tree, I have a peach tree, plum tree, and an apple tree. He did buy these from a local box store, and I want to say bless his heart. I really appreciate him buying them for me. This is just so wonderful. It is a couple of things though that I wanted to show y'all about these trees that after doing some research on it, I found out that maybe some of them we have to take back to get some other trees, but that's okay. But I just wanted to go through and see if I could show you real quick some of the different things that you should look out when planting a tree, a fruit tree in spring. So let me just show you first, starting out with this pear tree. All right, this pear tree grows in full sun. It says you should space it between 20 to 30 feet apart. It gets pretty tall, about 30 feet. And it says fertilization in spring. And this is something that's important to know about some of your fruit trees. Use one of the varieties below for pollination. So with this pear tree, what that is saying is you have to use another pear tree in order for bees to cross-pollinate the trees to get the best fruit or to get quality fruit. So now that I have this one pear tree, I actually have to go out and get another pear tree. Another thing about what you have to keep in mind with gardening, with growing, with anything that you do when it comes to landscaping out in your yard or your garden, patience is key. Now, typically, you wouldn't want to plant a tree right now with flowers on them and foliage. You would want it to be kind of bare because you have to get this tree time enough to establish good roots in the soil. And it's going to be so busy competing to produce these flowers that it won't get the best establishment as far as roots in the ground. So this might be a tree that we have to take back to see if we can get one that hasn't flowered already, because these trees come from a warmer climate and then they ship to the stores. So wherever they were at growing in these containers, it's probably a lot more warmer than it is here now. And it has caused this tree to start flowering buds. So I can still plant it. If I plant it with the flowers and the buds on it, I'll remove the flowers and I'll leave the foliage. I'll let it die back, and then the next season or the next spring coming up, then before spring hits, then I'll go ahead and maybe around October trim it down, prune it, and get it prepared for the next year. So by the time it'll have a chance to overwinter, it should be fine. I just don't want it to struggle though trying to plant it now, and it might suffer in the long run. So I still have to debate if that's something I'm gonna do. But I just wanted to show y'all that's one of the things that you want to look out for. Same thing with this peach tree. It already has the flower blooms on it. Oh, but it's so pretty. A lot of this is going to have to be pruned back, but you don't want to prune your trees when they're in bloom. You don't want to prune them in the spring. You want to wait until all the flowers have fell off. and you're going into the next spring around fall time is when you want to start working on pruning and fertilizing your fruit trees. If you could tell, this tree is slanted. So from what I was researching, you don't want to plant a tree slanted because it will continue to grow slanted, because the root ball is not centered. And you could tell the root ball is not centered on this pot just by looking at the dimensions of it. So I also read that you can still plant it, but you would have to plant it at like a 45-degree angle, or whatever angle your hole has to accommodate the angle that you plant the tree in to ensure that it grows straight and you train it to grow straight. So again, I feel like it might be better to have maybe switch this one out for one more centered, so that way I can have a better start on it. And just be more patient, even though I can't wait to start growing fruit. So same thing I said it with this pear tree. The treatment that I'm going to do with it is the same treatment that I would do with this one. But we're probably going to take this one back and try to get one that is at least centered, so it can have a good start. This plum tree I'm going to plant by the peach tree. And I didn't show you the tag for I'm going back to the peach tree, is a full sun. It wants well-drained garden soil. It's telling you how to plant it how to water it when it's established. Apart from the rows are 18 feet apart, and the height is up to 15 feet. So far, I already know that apple and pear trees, they grow taller than the plums and the peaches. And let me see if it tells me what variety it is. I'm sorry, y'all. Yep, Red Haven peach. Pearl pear, Ayers pear. This is a Red Haven peach. And my plum that I have right here is a Santa Rosa plum. This one is going to have full sun. And this one only gets about 15 feet in height too, or 20 feet in height. So the plums and the peaches, the tags don't say that they need a crossbreeder. So I'm going to plant them together and just see how they do. But I think I do still want to put another peach tree out here, some type of Georgia peach tree or something like that. So that'll work out. And this is the apple tree. Now, I'm showing you the apple tree because this is typically what you want to plant. You want to plant something that hasn't really bloomed yet. The branches are going in an upward shape, which I understand is the way that you want your trees to grow, in the upward shape. It is quite tall right now. It's taller than me for sure. So I know that I'm going to have to cut that down some. And this type of apple is a Liberty apple. It's also planted in full sun. It's saying 18 feet apart, and the height can get up to 20 feet high and 20 feet wide. So for sure there's going to be a designated area for the apple and the pear tree. And I'm also going to get a Granny Smith because I really love Granny Smith apples. So that'll be a cross pollinator with this Liberty apple tree. So yeah, I just wanted to come to y'all real quick to show you my new collection of trees. I'm loving it. I'm loving learning about trees, and I just wanted to show you some do's and don'ts that I've been learning from watching different videos on YouTube as far as, you know, care and maintenance, the best time to plant your trees. So just to kind of cover it all again, you probably want to make sure when you're planting your trees in the fall going into winter. Because if you plant your trees in the fall going into winter, they get an opportunity to overwinter. The roots get a chance to establish in the wintertime in the ground. So then when that following spring comes, you'll have some good root development. And that way the tree can more concentrate on the fruit production than on the root development. The second part is you want to try to make sure that you're getting a bare tree. You don't want the tree to already be in bloom or in flower, because again, it's going to concentrate on the production of those flowers more than it's going to concentrate on the root development. You also want to make sure that for the trees that need cross pollinators, that you're going to have cross pollinated trees to get good fruit, because bees are going to have to go from one tree to the other tree to make sure that you're maximizing and you're getting the best fruit yields. One thing that I've learned about spacing when it comes to the trees, I've seen some people say where you can divide the number into 2, or the recommended spacing, and you can actually space trees when it comes to fruit trees within the same species type pretty close together. Also, they say that it's good by you planting them close together that their foliage touch, because studies have shown if fruit trees foliage touches another fruit tree, then it's more likely to create an environment of good fruit production. Again, we're going to plant these trees in the box style. I'm going to make sure that my apple and my pear trees are going to be placed together. I'm going to be making sure that my stone fruit, which is going to be my plums and my peaches, are placed together. And I'm going to make sure that I put them in a good sunlight area, because all of them are full sun trees. So I need to put them in an area that's going to get really good sunlight, but also keep in mind that I can't put them in an area that's going to eventually shade out my garden, because I need sunlight to hit my garden. So at first I was going to put them in front of the garden, but then I was like, nah, this is not going to work, because they're going to get to a point where they're going to shade the garden out. So once I find a place to move them, once I start digging the holes to put them in the dirt, then I'll take y'all along with me. I might create like a playlist of where I'm going to plant these new fruit trees I have in a little urban orchard that I have in my yard. But I just thank y'all for tuning in and joining me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the bell for notifications and support your girl. All right, this is Miss Natural Mystic signing out, telling you to continue to do the most so you can be the most. All right, y'all. It's not that